Hello. So I was talking with a friend about the English language today and words, and English is one of the, if only maybe the only language where you can do sort of spell words with it. You know, the word spell is spell, and broadcast is like you're casting a broad spell upon people, right? And programming, the programs program you, and there's lots of different tricks with the English language that other languages don't have. Um, but anyway, I was discussing with him about the idea that some people are very hesitant to say the negative words. So, in the law of attraction type field where people are doing affirmations, they get a little afraid of using negative words. So, like fearless, you can affirm, I am fearless, I am fearless. But some people would say, well, you've got the word fear in there, so you've got that negative connotation. You should say brave, I am brave. And so I guess you can do that with if you want to, and if you really have a negative feeling for negative words, then it shows that you've got a limiting belief on that, and it sometimes is beneficial to just go with the path of least resistance. But I really don't think that saying negative words like I am anti-mandate, I am anti-vax or whatever. I don't think just putting the anti in there is enough to, do anything just because those are the words you use, because the universe doesn't speak English, it doesn't speak Spanish, it doesn't speak Greek. It speaks frequency. That is, how are you feeling? What are you thinking about that? What is the meaning you've put behind it? As human beings here, we make meaning of things. That's kind of what the knowledge of the tree of good and evil is about. You can have a Christmas tree and you can see it as a positive thing. You can see it as, a celebration of Christ during Christmas. You can see it as a negative thing. You can bring up the verse from Jeremiah and say, you're not supposed to do idols, trees and fastening them with nails and all this other stuff. Or you can see them in a different view, which is where I've come to, as the menorah. It's another version of the menorah. Christ is the vine and we are the branches, right? And God, the Father, is the gardener. It's like a menorah. We are the lights on the Christmas tree, etc. So anyway, there's a whole other way to view the Christmas tree. This is like the knowledge of good and evil. You can see something, but everybody puts a different meaning behind it. And I was talking to him about how this is really fascinating to me, that we have conversations with each other, and because of our perceptions, because of our minds, we create the meaning that we're giving meaning to what somebody else is saying. So when somebody says, I'm not anti-vax, I'm anti-mandate, but the dictionary says an anti-vaxxer is somebody who's anti-mandate. You've got somebody writing the dictionary who thinks that you are anti-vax simply because you are anti-mandate. Whereas that person is like, how could I be anti-vax? So these people are going back and forth with each other, and they have different definitions of the word. So we are all trying to communicate with each other, but we have different definitions and different perceptions of what words actually mean. I don't think that the word itself is what matters. I think it's the meaning behind it. So I grew up Christian, so that's just how my background is, So when I say Christ or Jesus Christ, I'm thinking of a positive thing. When I went through a hard time in my life, I cried out for Jesus in prayer, and he answered my prayer. I don't think of it as a negative thing. However, there's sacred name movement group people in the Hebrew roots community who would say saying Jesus Christ is calling upon demons, and you didn't really get saved. And I'm like, I got through it, and my prayer worked out. So I would say it's by your faith that you are saved. It has nothing to do with what terminology you use. So I don't believe in the whole sacred name movement because of that. I know we don't have the right name right now because of translation issues, but that's not where the quote unquote magic is. It works because of your faith. It works because of your meaning that you have applied to this word. And so that's what matters. And so, yes, I have a different perspective nowadays, but I understand that I wasn't calling upon demons, to deliver me from, evil, right? So I had a different perspective, and that's why it worked out, because my faith saved me. Now, somebody in the sacred name movement saying Jesus, they're going to say it with hate, and it's going to be completely different. I think Dr. Emoto did a test with saying words to water and rice, and depending on what you said to it, it would change. The rice would be sweet if you were saying positive things. The rice would be nasty and moldy if you were saying negative things. Same thing for ignoring it. I don't think it was the words that matter. I think it was the attitude that was put into it. That's my point here. So I don't think there's anything wrong with saying, a quote unquote negative word, like a not, like I am not worried about money. Now, some people would say, you shouldn't say it that way. You should say it some other positive way. If you think it matters to you, then do it in the path of least resistance, because you might have a limiting belief, and that limiting belief is going to be limiting you. But I'm just saying that I don't think it matters, simply because of my past experiences, like I said, with the praying and things like that in the past. I have a reason for believing what I believe, especially like the Dr. Emoto experiments with water and words and music, because there's some music he's played, it comes out beautiful, and I might think, wow, that's a horrible song, I don't know why that worked, so I think that it's definitely about the intention that the person had while saying it or thinking it, etc. That's really what matters. The universe speaks frequency, not English. So I don't think it's the English words that matter. And I just wanted to do a little video about that, because I think it's interesting. I think it's definitely interesting. I think also I wanted to point out, if you say something like anti-vax or anti-mandate or anti-racism or anti-anything, it is very useful for you to figure out, why are you so anti this or anti that? So you want to look into the word that you're anti something. And you want to think, why am I really focused on what I don't want? And then you want to try to come up with the opposite of that. What do I want? The things that you don't want are very helpful to help you find out what you actually do want. So anti-racism, right? You want people to see each other without the view of race. I think the people in that movement might have that a little bit weird right now, not understanding it. But you want to actually look at what is it that you do want. And so, like anti-mandate, you want freedom. You don't want to be coerced into doing something that you don't want to do. So you want to focus on freedom, and then think about, what are ways that I can feel free right now? Well, I am free to listen to whoever I want to listen to. So you can listen to positive music in the morning. You are free to exercise. You are free to choose not to exercise. You are free to do this and you're free to do that. And if you focus on all the things that you're free to do, then you will remind yourself, I am free to choose what I do with my life, and do that. Make the best out of what you've got and focus on where you're free, and then you'll have that feeling of freedom. And that's what you want to feel. So focus on what you actually do want. So whenever you're thinking about something that you are anti this or anti that, you want to flip it and focus on what you do want. I don't think it matters what words you're using, but it definitely matters what you're thinking about and what you're focusing your energy on. So you don't want to focus, if you're feeling mandated, if you're feeling like really boxed into a position, you don't want to focus on that feeling of imprisonment. You want to focus on the feeling of freedom, of all the things that you can choose to do. You are free to choose which thoughts you think, and that is why you are constantly free. Nobody is ever at the mercy of somebody else, because they always have the freedom to choose how they view a situation. So I hope this has helped you out, and thanks for listening, and have a great day.